Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 26 of Touched. This one is titled, Why Did You Enter the Chapter There? Inside the closet was a very smug-looking Hawks, cramped up and contorted with his head bent sideways so he could fit himself into the small space. Hey, baby, he said in his silky smooth Hawks voice. You found me. You couldn't take his flirting seriously with the way he was cramped up in the cupboard, and you burst out laughing, wiping tears from your eyes as he tried to hop out. How long were you in there for? You asked as your laughter died down. About a half hour, he said as he stretched his back and kinked his neck from side to side while rubbing it, before running a hand through his hair and winking at you. You looked away. Thanks for last night, he said lowly, and your eyes widened. There was a pause, then he spoke again. You okay, chicken? He asked gently. Yeah, I'm fine. Why? You asked, glancing at him, then looking away and turning to your desk. You, just look like you've been crying, he said as he followed you and crouched down across the desk from you so that he could see your face. You glanced at him again and looked away. You know I'm always here for you, baby, he said softly. I know, you replied just as softly. My office door is always open for you, he said with genuine kindness. If you need me, just come, yeah? You nodded and hung your head. Did you want to talk about it? He asked tenderly. You shook your head. Okay, he said with a gentle smile. Unfortunately, I have to go now, but come up if you need me, he added, as he stood up and turned slowly to leave. He was hoping that you would call out to him and ask him to wait or something, or ask him not to leave, but to his dismay you didn't. He left and his face fell slightly as he walked. Oh, she still doesn't trust me. Not that I can blame her, but I really thought that we were making some headway, he thought as he got to the elevator and pressed the up button. She might be shy, but man is she strong. Not once has she caved and told me what's going on. He smirked to himself. Definitely one of the qualities I like about her. He got to his level and hopped out, strolling casually down the hallway. Oh, I wonder why she was upset. He got to his room, and his feathers picked up the presence of somebody inside. He paused with his hand on the door handle. Oh, it's the boss, he thought smugly. To what do I owe the pleasure? Hawks asked in a bored tone as he entered the room. The council president was standing at his desk and dropped a stack of papers onto it. We're making some good progress on apprehending the lexical quirk users, she said briskly, looking at Hawks with an annoyed look on her face. And seeing as you have been absent for most of this mission, I've brought you the paperwork to catch up on. We will be catching the rest of the family tonight, she said with passively aggressive condescending tone. She was less than impressed that Hawks hadn't been helping with the mission as much as he should have. You must get off on giving people work, huh? He replied as he sauntered over and flopped down in his office chair. She stiffened but bit her tongue. We expect your help with the next part of the mission, understood? She said, watching him intently. Yeah, got it, he replied as he slumped his cheek into his hand while holding her gaze to show that he wasn't the least bit rattled by her. She cleared her throat and turned to walk to the door. We expect all of them to be apprehended, Hawks, she said over her shoulder. He scowled as she walked out of the office and shut the door behind her. This bitch. Back in your office, you couldn't concentrate on anything. You felt sick to your stomach and completely stuck on what to do. Maybe if I text Hawks to come down, maybe I just need some company, you thought. You reached into your bag for your phone, feeling around casually. When you couldn't find it, you started searching with your hand a little more frantically. Then you remembered. Oh no, it's still plugged in at home. The dread set in. Now what were you going to do? You sat there a little longer, paralysed. Finally you stood up. Screw this, I'm going to Hawks. He's a hero. He knows me. He'll believe me when I tell him that I've done nothing wrong. And although my father is an arsehole, he's done nothing wrong either. If I explain the situation calmly to him, maybe he'll help me out. You got up and walked to your door. You made it up to his level and started down the hallway to his room, your heart rate increasing as you got closer to his office door. Oh, maybe this was a bad idea. You paused outside his door and held your hand up to knock. You pulled a face, debating on whether you should or not, when a voice called to you from the inside. Come in, chicken, he called. You reached for the handle and pushed the door open. I keep forgetting about the feathers, you said sheepishly as you looked at him. Whoa, what? You said when you saw what he was doing. He was sitting in his chair with jacket just off his shoulders, a few of his small feathers deployed, holding up sheets of paper as he chewed on the end of a pencil thoughtfully. Oh hey, he said with a friendly smile. Don't mind me, I'm just doing some paperwork. What is this? You asked with a small chuckle. This is how I do work, he said with a wink. Well, don't let me stop you, he said softly. What brings you here, baby? He asked slowly as he directed some of the sheets aside to look at you with those intense golden eyes. I just need company, you replied. Oh, he said with a bit of disappointment in his voice. So you're not here to help me relieve a bit of tension? He asked suggestively, his lips pulling up slightly into a cocky smirk. No, you squeaked, covering your mouth with embarrassment. He chuckled. I'm just messing, baby, he said as he looked back at his papers. You want a cup of tea or something? He asked, nodding to his kitchenette in the corner of the room. Help yourself. Actually, I might if that's okay, you asked softly. Of course, chicken, help yourself, he said with a smile. Would you mind making me a coffee while you're there? Not at all, you said as he headed over. Oh, man, Hawks sighed loudly. Got a tough case here, he said pointedly as he watched you fill the hot water jug and plug it in. Yeah? You asked. Yeah, tracking down a quirk user for the government, he said casually, looking back at his papers but observing you from the corner of his eye. You paused slightly as you pulled 2 mugs out of the cupboard. What quirk? You asked softly. Lexical translation, he said bluntly. Your hand slipped in fright and you dropped one of the mugs into the small sink, making a hell of a racket. Sorry, you yelped. You good? He asked calmly. Sorry, I'm okay. He kept watching you discreetly as he continued. Yeah, the government's been after them for months, he said loudly. They've got the father, and now they're after the daughter. You placed your hands on the edge of the sink and braced yourself, not looking at him. And there ends chapter 26. Stay tuned for chapter 27. It's starting to get intense.